In the summer of 1964, my friend Pat and I went to Sweden to visit my pen pal's family in Lambretta, Norrtälje, north of Stockholm. We travelled from Edinburgh to Newcastle on my Lambretta scooter, by boat from Newcastle to Bergen, by train from Bergen to Oslo, and then from Oslo to Lambretta by scooter. I'd had a bicycle from the age of 12 and had cycled throughout Scotland before getting the scooter in 1961, so I was competent on even the busiest of roads and had passed my driving test with flying colours, the inspector complimenting me on my road skills. After arriving at the farm, we took trips to Norrtälje and Stockholm while we awaited the harvesting of the crops, and then decided to take a trip to Uppsala, the oldest university of Sweden, dating back to 1477. The trip went smoothly. We'd found all the roads in Sweden well maintained and for the most part straight. Miles and miles of highways with nothing but trees on either side, which made travel a bit monotonous and boring, especially when there was little traffic. So different from the country roads in my native Scotland, where they were narrow, circuitous, and each bend of the road opening up to a great variety of scenery and splendours. The road to Uppsala was busy, but no cause for worry. We kept to the extreme left of the highway as myriads of motors and trucks raced to their destinations. We had lunch in Uppsala, our usual Swedish meatballs, always the cheapest item on the menu. In Scotland, teachers were poorly paid, and we found Sweden so expensive. Uppsala is a very old city, and we enjoyed our visit to the university and the cathedral before deciding we should make our way back to the farm before the roads got too busy. A false premise, as it seems that highway is always busy. Ever alert, we proceeded with the traffic flow and were about halfway home when all hell broke loose. The scooter seemed to have developed a mind of its own, for all at once I felt I had no control over it. The handlebars and front wheel seemed stable enough, but the body, with Pat and me on the seat, seemed to have separated loose from any control that I as the driver had. It was like being on some of the rides at the fair, as it gyrated from side to side, almost as if we were floating in space. We had been traveling at a fair pace, keeping up with the fast traffic around us. So when I slowed down, the vehicles were forced to brake and swerve to avoid us. Many drivers honked, adding to our consternation and making it obvious that danger was afoot. A scooter was no equal rival to the large cars and even larger trucks that seemed to be encircling us. It was no mean feat to control the scooter as we were coming to a double curve in the road. It almost felt as if we were separated from terra firma and flying to outer space. To all appearances, it would seem a crash was inevitable, and I'm sure many of the drivers around us were mentally getting prepared to deal with a bad accident with severe consequences for these two young women who'd lost control of their scooter. Somehow, I kept a clear head and hadn't the time or inclination to panic. My full concentration was on slowing down, controlling the wild beast on which we were mounted, and pulling into the side of the road without smashing into another vehicle. We slithered to the edge of the road and came to a full stop. Both of us still aboard, our left legs off the dashboard and firmly rooted on the verge of the road. Horns blazed, and it seemed as if hundreds of vehicles braked, the drivers successfully avoiding hitting either each other or us. I suppose we were in a state of shock, but on the whole appeared calm. Some of the drivers seemed worse than us, with one or two on the verge of hysteria when they realized the danger of the situation that had just been averted. Words of consolation poured out from all sides, offers to take us to hospital or for a drink. Quite calmly, I thanked them all for their offers of help. We were fine, but could someone please phone my friend Eskil and ask him to come and fetch us? This he did, and after securing the Lambretta on the back of the old farm truck, he drove us home, stopping to drop off the scooter at a local garage to repair the rear tire which had burst. After the harvest, we left the farm, making our way across Sweden to Helsingborg to get the ferry to Helsingør, near Copenhagen, the setting for Shakespeare's Hamlet. After a few days sightseeing in Denmark, we headed home on the Newcastle ferry and then by scooter back to Edinburgh. It was only when I told my parents about the burst tire on the highway from Uppsala that I realized how lucky we were to have come through a very dangerous situation and lived to now tell the tale.